PMP question medium level.
Question 1. Rita has been appointed as a project manager to manage a project for setting up a complete infrastructure for a KPO. When the infrastructure is in place, she needs to hand over it to the operations team. As it involves stakeholders from various parts of the globe, she uses communication models to facilitate the communication and exchange the information. Which of the following is the correct sequence in a basic communication modes? A. Encode, transmit message, acknowledge, decode, feedback, response. B. Decode, transmit message, encode, acknowledge, feedback, response. C. Encode, transmit message, decode, feedback, response, acknowledge. D. Encode, transmit message, decode, acknowledge, feedback, response. Answer: D. Encode, transmit message, decode, acknowledge, feedback, response. Question 2. A software development project has been awarded to one of the many vendors. Your company and the vendor have agreed to build this project using the waterfall methodology. You decide to check with the progress regarding when development will start. The vendor informs you that the actual development can only start after completion of the design. Which type of relationship best describes the dependency between design and actual development? A. Finish to finish. B. Start to start. C. Finish to start. D. Start to finish. Answer: C. Finish to start. Question 3. You are in the process of making a cost estimate for a large prestigious project. You decide to use the 3-point estimation technique with triangular distribution. Based on your analysis and understanding, you are confident that the project would be completed with a total cost of $108,000. You also estimate that a best-case estimate would be $90,000 while a worst-case scenario would result in the costs incurred to shoot up to $138,000. What would the 3-point cost estimate be using triangular distribution? A. $110,000. B. $28,000. C. $112,000. D. Only beta distribution gives the right activity estimation. Answer: C. $112,000. Question 4. In general, processes of configuration management do not include which of the following? A. Controlling changes to these characteristics in an integrative fashion. B. Identification and documentation of system or item characteristics. C. Documenting and auditing changes and the implementation status. D. Assigning responsibilities for change control and documentation. Answer: D. Assigning responsibilities for change control and documentation. Question 5. You have been asked to provide cost estimates for a project which would be responsible for the complete electrical installation in warehouses. As a project manager, you have had past experience in similar projects in your previous organization. The organization you have joined also has recently done a similar project, and there is an urgency in providing the estimate as mandated by executive management. So what estimation technique would you adopt? A. Ask your prior organization for the estimates. B. Use bottom-up estimating. C. Use parametric estimating technique. D. Analogous estimates. Answer: D. Analogous estimates. Question 6. Which of the following best describes Vroom's expectancy theory? A. Employees will put in efforts dependent on expectancy, valence, and instrumentality. B. People have needs starting with physiological needs and ending with self-actualization. C. Hygiene factors will ensure that job dissatisfaction not occur, however it does not ensure job satisfaction. D. Employee motivation is not achievable, employees must be forced to get things done. Answer: A. Employees will put in efforts dependent on expectancy, valence, and instrumentality. Question 7. Of the following types of contracts, which has the highest risk for the seller? A. Time and material, T&M. B. Firm fixed price contract, FFPC. Cost plus incentive fee, CPIF. D. Cost plus fixed fee, CPFF. Answer: B. Firm fixed price contract, FFP. Question 8. A project is reporting a negative cost variance. What does this mean? A. The project is under budget. B. The project is over budget. C. The project is running as per budget. D. Cost is expected to be going beyond budget when the project ends. Answer: B. The project is over budget. Question 9. Resource leveling is one of the technique to make sure people are not overworked or underworked, as both of these are bad for the project. Which of the following tools can help identify team members that are overallocated? A. Resource histogram. B. Resource breakdown structure. C. Resource assignment matrix. D. Rossi matrix. Answer: A. Resource histogram. Question 10. The underscore details the different tasks for members in the project. A. Responsibility assignment matrix, RAM. B. So C. WBSD scope statement. Answer: A. Responsibility assignment matrix, RAM. Question 11. A project is over budget when A. CPI and SPI greater than 1. B. CPI less than 1. C. SPI greater than 1. D. CPI greater than 1. Answer: B. CPI less than 1. Question 12. Lisa is a project manager and one of her vendors is consistently delivering late. He has asked Lisa to continue to accept these late deliverables in exchange for discounts he is offering to her company. She is saving costs for her company. What type of conflict resolution technique is applied here? A. Confronting. B. Compromising. C. Smoothing. D. Avoid. Answer: B. Compromising. Question 13. Jane is managing a critical project for the organization. Success of this project can take the company to next level and Jane to a promotion. Project release is 2 weeks away and a senior team member comes to Jane with a critical problem. She thinks about it for a moment, doesn't understand what to do. But she needs to create a status update report to be presented in 2 hours. She thinks for another moment and selects one of the options team member brought in. What decision-making style did Jane exhibit? A. Consensus. B. Coin flip. C. Consultation. D. Command. Answer: B. Coin flip. Question 14. All the needs of whom should performance reports address? A. Management. B. Team members. C. Project manager. D. Stakeholders. Answer: D. Stakeholders. Question 15. You are writing project proposal. The review of it can happen only after the completion of proposal. The logical relationship between the writing and reviewing of the proposal can best be described as which of the following? A. Finish to start, FS. B. Finish to finish, FF. C. Start to finish, SF. D. Start to start, SS. Answer: A. Finish to start, FS. Question 16. Sumana is working on an e-commerce project. She has a team of 15, with 6 of them working from geographically separate locations. She is working in a projectized organization and is in total control of costs. If she is influencing factors that create changes to the costs associated with the project, which process is she using? A. Determine budget. B. Negotiate costs. C. Estimate costs. D. Control costs. Answer: D. Control costs. Question 17. According to Tuckman ladder, what is the right progression of states that a team passes through? A. Forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. B. Forming, norming, storming, performing, adjourning. C. Norming, forming, performing, storming, adjourning. D. Performing, forming, storming, norming, adjourning. Answer: A. Forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. Question 18. Which of the process groups helps define a new project or a new phase of an existing project? A. Initiating process. B. Planning process. C. Scope management process. D. Phase development process. Answer: A. Initiating process. Question 19. Gwen's first task as she replaced earlier project manager on the project was to identify risks. She has identified them by talking to team and stakeholders. As she moves ahead with risk management, at which stage should she prioritize risks based on their relative probability and impact? A. Perform qualitative risk analysis. B. Control risks. C. Perform quantitative risk analysis. D. Plan risk responses. Answer: A. Perform qualitative risk analysis. Question 20. In a software development project, Debbie, the project manager, completed developing a charter and identification of stakeholders. Since multiple contracts are involved in the project, Debbie has collected proprietary information from vendors during the planning process to decide on the contract. What should Debbie do when a functional manager from the same organization wants to see this information? A. Accept the request as the manager belongs to the same organization. B. Deny the request, to protect the confidentiality of the information. C. Deny the request as the manager is not part of the project. D. Accept the request but caution the manager to maintain confidentiality. Answer: B. Deny the request, to protect the confidentiality of the information. Question 21. A weighted average duration estimate to calculate duration is called A. PERT. B. CPMC. GERT. D. Pareto chart. Answer: A. PERT. Question 22. Which of the following is the most common non-behavioral reason for projects being completed behind schedule and going over budget? A. Selecting a wrong person as the sponsor. B. Selecting a wrong person as the project manager. C. Accepting a high-risk project. D. Inadequately defined requirements. Answer: D. Inadequately defined requirements. Question 23. Your company has just bagged a project for electric cable layout and routing for a large shopping complex, and you have been tasked with providing the cost estimates. You choose to rely on your past experience of similar such projects. You break down the costs of the cables per foot and unit cost of cable trays. What type of cost estimating technique are you relying on? A. Analogous cost estimate. B. Bottom-up cost estimate. C. Top-down cost estimate. D. Parametric estimates. Answer: D. Parametric estimates. Question 24. Which of the following is important for quality auditors? A. They must be mandated by the auditee. B. They must be in-house personnel. C. They must be third-party staff. D. They must be properly trained. Answer: D. They must be properly trained. Question 25. The process of communicating and working with the stakeholders to meet their expectations, Address issues and foster appropriate stakeholder engagement in project activities throughout project life cycle is called _ A. Plan stakeholder management. B. Identify stakeholders. C. Control stakeholder engagement. D. Manage stakeholder engagement. Answer: D. Manage stakeholder engagement. Question 26. The changeover from one phase to another phase in a project is usually marked by which of the following? A. Kill point. B. Retrospection meeting. C. Decision point. D. Review meeting. Answer: A. Kill point. Question 27. You are in a very happy state today as you have completed all the deliverables. This was a complex project involving a lot of challenges, but with good management and a motivated team things have been completed successfully. What should you do next as a project manager? A. Disband the team. B. Update lessons learned. C. Perform quality control. D. Verify scope. Answer: B. Update lessons learned. Question 28. Reviewing the project management plan, Mark finds out that the project SWBS is not aligned with the project management plan and the 100% rule was ignored. What does this mean? A. The project management plan is not 100% complete. B. The WBS doesn't contain all of the project and product work mentioned in the project management plan. C. The project WBS is not 100% defined. D. The project cannot be completed on time. Answer: B. The WBS doesn't contain all of the project and product work mentioned in the project management plan. Question 29. You have asked your team members to provide estimates of tasks. Based on the estimate provided, you see a specific team member seems to have provided estimates on the higher side. You decide to discuss with the concerned team member. She replies that as she did not have an idea of how long it would take, she had guessed the estimate and then, to be on the safer side, simply doubled it. What is this known as? A. This is a lead. B. This is a lag. C. This is free float. D. This is a pad. Answer: D. This is a pad. Question 30. As a project manager, you have successfully delivered all project deliverables within stipulated timelines. Your senior management wants you to calculate the cost of quality. As a project manager, what costs would you not consider while making this calculation? A. Appraisal costs. B. Cost of hiring. C. Prevention costs. D. External and internal failure costs. Answer: B. Cost of hiring. Question 31. Project quality management includes A. Customer satisfaction. B. C. Prevention over inspection. D. Continuous improvement. Answer: B. All. Question 32. Which of the following is a hierarchical representation of project risks? A. Risk breakdown structure. B. Risk management plan activities. C. Risk categories. D. Risk prioritization. Answer: A. Risk breakdown structure. Question 33. Which of the following statements are not true regarding network diagrams? A. Network diagrams depict the workflow so everyone knows the sequence in which activities need to be performed. B. Network diagrams are used to show interdependencies of all activities. C. They help plan, organize and control the project and can help track schedule progress. D. Network diagrams determine risks and causes of issues as they occur. Answer: D. Network diagrams determine risks and causes of issues as they occur. Question 34. You have been assigned to manage a project that deals with setting up a railway line connecting two cities. The project is complex with a lot of contracting involved. You and experts in your organization are evaluating if the rail line alignment machinery should be purchased outright or if it would be better to lease. The cost of leasing the equipment is $1,200 per day while the cost of an outright purchase is $96,000 and a daily cost of $200. The duration of laying out the railway lines is scheduled to be an activity duration of 150 days. Should you purchase the machinery or be leased, which option would be more economical? A. Lease the machinery as it will be cheaper by $84,000. B. Purchase the machinery as its usage beyond the 80th day would be more cost-effective to purchase rather than lease. C. Purchase the machinery as its usage beyond the 96th day would be more cost-effective to purchase rather than lease. D. Lease the machinery as it will be cheaper by $36,000. Answer: C. Purchase the machinery as its usage beyond the 96th day would be more cost-effective to purchase rather than lease. Question 35, number 290. You are managing a project that is scheduled to run for an entire year. Things were looking good after the first 2 months. However, due to some mistakes made by the construction crew at the end of the 3rd month, you realize that the expected work to be completed at this stage is not complete. As a result, the project is behind schedule and is also over budget. There are stiff penalties in the contract should the project not complete within the stipulated timelines. Your senior management as a result has committed to additional staff to the project if required. What would be the estimate at completion for this project? A. equals AC plus BAC, F. B. equals BAC, CPI. C. equals AC plus BAC, F/CPI SPI. D. equals AC plus bottom-up estimate. Answer: C. equals AC plus BAC, F/CPI SPI. Question 36. Your company has been tasked with providing estimates for a road construction project. You have data available related to costs per square feet. You now need to provide an estimate of the cost of the project based on this data. What estimation technique is most applicable in such a scenario? A. Top-down estimates. B. Bottom-up estimating. C. Parametric estimating technique. D. Analogous estimation. Answer: C. Parametric estimating technique. Question 37. Contingency reserves are estimated costs to be used at the discretion of the project manager, unlike management reserves. What are contingency reserves used for? A. Anticipated and certain events. B. Anticipated but not certain events. C. Force majeure events. D. Unanticipated events. Answer: B. Anticipated but not certain events. Question 38. You are working in a software development project in which specialized resources are required to perform some tasks. You estimate that these resources will be required during the executing phase of the project. However, your estimation fails to account for the fact that these resources will be available for only limited hours in the executing phase. What should you do to make schedule changes based on the limited availability? A. Update the project schedule. B. Update the schedule baseline. C. Perform an impact analysis. D. Communicate to customers and update the baseline. Answer: C. Perform an impact analysis. Question 39. Matt is halfway through project execution and the project is expected to go for another 11 months. Matt thinks that things are going as per plan. Jake, the project sponsor, has asked for a project performance report to be presented during next status meeting. Matt decides to create an S-curve. He delegates this to Blake, the new project coordinator who just earned his PMP. Based on the S-curve, Blake gives the report to Matt. Matt finds that the actual cost is more than the earned value. Also, the planned value is greater than the earned value. What would be the interpretation of this data? A. The project is over budget but on schedule. B. The project is on schedule and on budget. C. The project is over budget and behind schedule. D. The project is on budget but behind schedule. Answer: C. The project is over budget and behind schedule. Question 40. Which of the following will Thuzer not use as an input into creating the WBS structure for her e-commerce software development project? A. Organizational process assets. B. Work breakdown components. C. Requirements documentation. D. Project scope statement. Answer: B. Work breakdown components. Question 41. You are in charge of building a bridge across a river. All the initial groundwork and structural designs have been completed and work is in progress. You know that the next 2 months will be particularly critical, involving some critical activities such as arc welding of stiffener plates. You know your company employs welders who specialize in this kind of work. However, you are apprehensive regarding their availability for the next 2 months. What should you refer to first to find if these welders are available for the next 2 months? A. Histograms. B. Milestone list. C. Resource calendars. D. Pareto chart. Answer: C. Resource calendars. Question 42. What is not true for project deliverables? A. Once project deliverables have been identified, their description should not be changed anymore. B. The acceptance process for deliverables and how rejection will be addressed should be described in the contract. C. Project deliverables may be products, capabilities for services or other kinds of results. D. Project deliverables should be identified, described and agreed upon as early in the project as possible. Answer: A. Once project deliverables have been identified, their description should not be changed anymore. Question 43. You and your team have done extensive brainstorming and discussions. You have also looked up the organization's process assets and have come up with an exhaustive list of risks. You and your team members feel fairly confident now that you know all the risks. You decide to prioritize the risks and only focus on the high-priority ones. A team member indicates that a large number of risks have very low priority. She suggests we simply ignore them. You disagree and decide to maintain a list of such low-priority risks. Where will you maintain these low-priority risks? A. Risk register. B. Risk management plan. C. Watch list. D. Issue log. Answer: C. Watch list. Question 44. Danny is in charge of a CRM project involving about 28 developers work across 3 counties. When should he especially considerate of cultural differences? A. When he assigns a human resources to do the work in a schedule activity. B. When he develops acceptance criteria for work results to be achieved by the team members. C. When he decides upon recognition and awards during team development process. D. When he sends notice of upcoming performance appraisal meeting. Answer: C. When he decides upon recognition and awards during team development process. Question 45. You are in the process of defining activities and have broken down the WBS into individual activities. You now decide to uniquely tag each activity with a unique code. What have you done here? A. Plotted schedule network diagram. B. Defined activity identifier. C. Identified inputs for milestone list. D. Completed activity list. Answer: B. Defined activity identifier. Question 46. Which of these is not an enterprise environmental factor that can influence the planned human resource management process? A. Lessons learned on organizational structures. B. Personnel administration policies. C. Geographical dispersion of team members. D. Organizational culture and structure. Answer: A. Lessons learned on organizational structures. Question 47. Which of the following statement is true about risks on a project? A. Risk impact must be considered, and probability of occurrence may or may not be important. B. The risk register documents all the identified risks as well as opportunities in detail. C. A risk is always induced external to the project. D. Risks always have negative impact and not positive. Answer: B. The risk register documents all the identified risks as well as opportunities in detail. Question 48. As a project manager of a project, you have just completed schedule network diagram. What should you do next in time management? A. Estimate activity resources. B. Develop schedule. C. Sequence activities. D. Estimate activity durations. Answer: A. Estimate activity resources. Question 49. Many configuration management activities are part of Perform integrated change control. Which of the following is not one of them? A. Configuration status accounting. B. Change request. C. Configuration verification. D. Configuration identification. Answer: B. Change request. Question 50. A company wants to hire a PMP, and you are applying for the position in the company. You are scheduled to take the PMP exam in a few days. At your interview, a comment is made implying that you are PMP certified. What do you do? A. Clarify that you are scheduled to take your PMP certification exam soon, but are not yet PMP certified. B. Confirm that you are PMP certified and you will be certified soon if you pass the exam. C. Both are true. D. None of the above. Answer: A. Clarify that you are scheduled to take your PMP certification exam soon, but are not yet PMP certified. Thank you for watching.